decisions. Um, Man, I had so many opportunities that were falling into line, and it's almost like I was a glutton for my punishment, like you told Matthew. I was like, yeah, let's choose the stupid.
I didn't mind it, being named as the big guy, just because it sounded intimidating at the time. I didn't know, but then looking back at it now at my age, I'm like, it's just, I was like, wow, and then
All right, welcome back to the Rain from Thin Show. I'm Shane, your host. We got a special one for y'all today. Got two guests on together, a little double whammy action. Got Dallas Luna out of Clyde and Adam Jones out of Oklahoma City, who goes by AJ. Both of them joined the brand Strength, my fitness brand, about a year ago, and they came up through it at the same time without ever really being in the same room until now. They've gone out of their way to hop on calls together. It was pretty cool. They wanted to hop on this pod at the same time. Their stories don't look alike at first. Dallas spent years being the fat guy in the friend group, carrying depression alongside of it. He got to a point where he wanted better for his daughter and for himself. AJ, on the other hand, he calls himself a lifetime of bad decisions. He's been fending for himself since he was 15. Everything after that grew out of a kid figuring it out all by himself. And this is the first time on any show. So this is his first time, right? A lot of these guys come in, they've never been on a podcast before, but they have the courage to share their stories. So major props to these guys. Super glad they found each other through Strength as well, and that they came on two different roads, and they keep landing in the same place. Neither of them woke up one morning and it was all fixed. They're still working. We're all striving to get better. So, yeah, Dallas is going to tell you straight that God's got his back and you can get through anything with him. And the people who show up, AJ is going to tell you the same thing. The choices that you make matter, and that you are in control of the direction you're heading, and that when you let the world do that to you, it's on you as well. So they go at it from opposite sides. We come up with common ground. I'm going to just dive into it right now, guys. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Enjoy the show. Let's go.
Dude, let's start it off with that right there. All right. So I'm on the pod with a couple boys. We got Dallas here with the book Scars to Strength. Man, have you finished it?
no, I'm halfway. I've had a little bit of medical issues on the way, but I'm still trying to read it every now and then.
I appreciate you tuning in, man, and having the book, Andy. And dude, Dallas and AJ, you guys, we were on a Google Meet call just now, and we were talking about it was Tribe Thursday, and I was like, yo, I need people on the show. And then I don't know how it came about. I think AJ, that was your idea, right? You're like, yo, let's just do it together.
Was it? No, I was just like, hey, I'm in. Like I was gonna sign up for the thing, but you're like, hey, yeah, let's do it with all of them.
Dude, it worked out. So this is our first duo. I got questions for both of y'all. I think the viewers are going to have a lot of great clarity as to because you guys are very different people, right? AJ, you're from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and Dallas is from Clyde, Texas. How old are you both? I don't have that in file.
I'm 24.
37, I think.
Let's
I don't
go,
celebrate my
dude.
birthday much, so.
Hey, that's all good. Well, that's the cool thing is like AJ, the main thing is you've been basically on your own since 15. We're going to talk about that years that you've gone through drugs, dealing with uh dealings you never said you wanted, right? And then on the other side, we got Dallas, who a little bit younger, 24. That's great, bro. And we're going to talk about your dad, your experience with him, how you were the fat guy in the group, and epilepsy awareness advocate as well. So going through depression, anxiety, negative thoughts, plus serious medical issues, guys. There's a lot of more parallels than might initially meet the eye. I want to start out with AJ. First off, both of you guys, thanks for being here. This is a blast.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, let's go. So AJ, someone meeting you today, who are you right now in Oklahoma City before we go back into any of it? Like, what are you doing today?
Oh man. Well, first off, from Okinawa, I'm Japanese, but yeah, growing up in Oklahoma City, well, Oklahoma. Um, who am I today? And right now, I'm Adam. Like I'm finding myself again. Bro, let me tell you, like today, I'm. God, that's a tough question, boss. Let's just say I lost myself again. But that's kind of the best part is trying to find your path back in life. So right now, I'm just a guy who's trying to better himself, trying to get back onto finding, my reason, my why, and stick to it. Just trying to just be a better man every day.
I love it, bro. We're not all like some people think that these people that have all these followers and or they're in the public eye that they have it all figured out, dude. That was probably the realest way you could have started out, dude. You're still trying to figure it out. We're all still trying to figure it out. They're all still trying to figure it out. No one knows what the heck they're doing. So it's kind of like a tough question to open on. So great input, my man. I want to hear from Dallas next. Same thing, man. Who are you on an ordinary day out in Clyde, Texas?
I'm just a dad, just trying to be a I'm just a son as well, just kind of a keeping the home safe while my parents are out at work, everyone else is out at work. Just trying to be the better dad that I can every day. Again, like what Adam said, just trying to find that why every day and um just kind of just that motivation.
Yes, I love it, bro. That's amazing that you're a dad too. How old is you have a son or
She
daughter?
daughter, she just turned 2 in June 19th.
Awesome. Happy late birthday. Cool, man. Awesome. Well, hey, what's AJ now? You've been on your own since 15. So what's it a normal day look like at that age?
Oh man. Um, Back then, selling drugs. It was a normal day of trying to just survive. It's not a life that I really wanted to get into. Like it's something I fell into a lot younger than 15, and that's kind of the worst part. Like I had a great family home. Father in the military, my mother's Japanese. Just I fell in like they did the best they could to raise me, and I keep always reminding them that it's not their fault what happened. Like I made decisions I made, you know. But man, just I got kicked out. First time I got rated was at 15 at my parents' place, and that was kind of the line. Um, and after that, it was just surviving and just doing what I had to do. I hated that that's the life that I chose, but it's what I knew to do at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's great that you honor your parents and where you came from because you said it's not their fault. What do you think was like the biggest influence that led down a darker path? Was it the people you were around?
100%. Man,
People.
I was straight A student. I had I was being watched from Duke University. I could have been going to college. God, even playing football, I was starting. So it's just I made a lot of. Oh, wow, how's our language on here, by the way? I try to
You
watch
can
it.
say whatever you want. Yeah, you say whatever you want.
All right, so yeah, I made a lot of piss poor decisions. Um, Man, I had so many opportunities that were falling into line, and it's almost like I was a glutton for my punishment, like just so massive. I was like, yeah, let's choose a stupid decision, you know. Um, so I made a lot of stupid calls when I was younger, up until leaving my 20s. But it really, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just the people I hung around with. I wanted to fit in. I was a loner kid,
Mhm.
so I was always focusing on schoolwork, had my nose in the book. I was constantly reading. I was always reading. We always had to make trips to the library, but it
Yeah.
just got to a point that I just wanted to fit in. I have a sister, an older sister, and I always used to say, like, you got the good genes, you got the good looks, you got the popularity, you're great with people. I had to learn to pretend, like, I had to learn to fake that. I had to build that kind of stuff up. She came naturally with that. And I hated her for it. She said she hated me because I was smart, but it's just I wanted to fit in, and then started getting
Love
into
that.
drugs, and then it just went way downhill.
Hey man, like I said, throughout this whole thing, people are going to see parallels in all three of us. So we're going to dive more into that in a sec. Dallas, I want to hear from you, bro. You were the fat kid, right, of the friend
Yeah.
group. Was that a name you gave yourself or one that got handed to you?
It was kind of both. Um, Growing up, I was skin and bones, playing football at a very young age up until got into eighth grade, and eighth grade was probably like my peak the way I looked. And then, well, before football, I was always, just kind of big. I was bigger, and then cause I just kind of swelled up. But then eighth grade, I was in shape. But then as soon as summer hit, that's when I swelled up. And everyone's like, there's always needs to be, that big fat kid in a friend group, and going into ninth grade as well, it's like, oh yeah, here's a big guy, this is a big guy, and I just got tired of it, and I was just like, I knew I could have played football, I knew I could have, been a lot better, I just kind of just got the wrong friend group, and I was just like, that always would just call me names, like, oh, he's chubby, he's fat, or he's just the big guy of the group. I mean, I didn't mind it, being named as the big guy, just because it sounded intimidating at the time. I didn't know, but then looking back at it now at my age, I'm like, it's just it was like, wow, and then now for the last few years I've been big, and um I've always been set videos on social media about, like, there's always a duo about, a skinny guy needs a fat guy, or a fit guy needs, an unfit guy, whatever it is, And it's just
Mm.
it's very unmotivational, especially with how I was as a kid till now. And it's just really just kind of like, can't find the word for it, but just put me down a lot.
Yes.
It put me in a very dark
I
place.
Dude, it's crazy. All three of us, because it was all around age like 14 or 15, right? Freshman year, it
Yeah.
seems. I dealt with some BS as well. People were poking at my chest. They were making fun of me because I had to get surgery. I ended up getting surgery to fix it. But yeah, I think kids are weird ages, like, especially that transition period into freshman year of high school, that you got to be around the right people or you're going to drown. And it's really easy to be the kid that they call out, right? They pick on. Your vibe attracts your tribe. That's why we're all together here. You guys found strength, I think, is because we've all been that kind of that loner kid, that kid that people counted out, and or maybe we just got in the wrong crowd or we couldn't find our right crowd. Because yeah, I mean, people change a lot in high school and in college and they grow up. But yes, man, I resonate with both of you guys with being around the wrong people and then trying to fill someone's shoes that you didn't even really ask to be. Like you said, Dallas, you said everybody's like every skinny kid's a fat kid, and you were just in that regard, you were trying to fit a role that you didn't even really want to be, right? You didn't want to audition for that. So really good start, guys. This is good. AJ, so what was the first door into the drugs and the dealing? You said it was through friends. Sounds like that was pretty much just through that. But did you know what you were stepping into?
Man, yeah. I mean, you get into the kind of hard drugs that that I was dealing because it was a meth and then ecstasy, heroin. Like I was getting into whatever I could. Uh, I always had a big problem because anytime I tried something for the first time, I had this rule with myself: I'm going to go the hardest that I can with it because I want to know the
Mhm.
worst of it. I want to know what the beat force is for me. And then I was always the one that just never knew when to slow down. I was like to do it, and as soon as I touched something, as soon as I got anything in my hands, I was like, I got to make some money. It was almost like I've talked about it in the rooms. I went to rehab once. I went to recovery, and it was like it's not just an addiction to the drug. Like, you get addicted to the game, as they call it. You get addicted to making the money. It's the life. It's
Mhm.
just when you have absolute disregard for yourself, your future. I mean, God, I didn't know if I remember even saying to my parents, like, when I woke up at 16, I was like, I wasn't supposed to make it this long. Like, I shouldn't have been alive today on my birthday. And it's just, it kind of fall into, yeah, I knew exactly what I was getting into when I got into it. When you start hanging around those people, you're going to see the life that comes with it pretty quick. So,
Got you. Oh man, yeah, that's Okay, we're gonna get into how you get out of it soon. But Dallas, when did that label of them calling you fat stop being a joke and start being what you believed about yourself?
It was, I want to say 3 years ago. Well, almost 3 years ago, shortly when I got out of a relationship with my ex fiance. Um, I don't want to label her as a baby mama, but I guess I'm going to at this point. It's I guess it's one of those things you get straight out for. But shortly after that, and I found the gym. I've always kind of liked the gym. I was always on and off, to trying to find the money to pay for a membership. But I just, like, month or two after, I just was like, I'm done. You know, like,
Mm.
and then especially at 19, 20, drinking, or like through 19 and 22 or 23 is when I got a relationship. 22 was when I got a relationship with her, and you know drinking and everything. And then they were like, dude, you got a beer gut, this and that. And I just was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not gonna take those jokes no more. I can't. And I just found myself in the gym. I found myself with a good job to get me that membership, and just was in the gym every day, and I just fell in love. And I was seeing progress, and I loved it. And my family even saw a huge shift in my mood, and then I also saw a huge shift in what my whole look. I was working at a hospital, and they gave us shirts, and I had to ask for two bigger sizes than everyone else had. And in the gym every day, eating right, and it just was like, I loved it. Fell in love with the gym, because I was 300 when I got out of a relationship with my baby mama. So I just was like, you know what, switch mindset. Let's go.
What do you now?
Like, what do you mean?
What do you weigh right now?
Oh, right now I am 277. So
Let's go, dude. Come
my
on, yeah.
lowest, yeah, my lowest was 266 back in May. And of course, I sent you all those two pictures of when I first started, which was back in last year.
Yeah.
When I, because I fell off when I first started, and then I got back really into it when I took that photo of me. Like, that was really big, because I got swole back up to 320. But it was just a lot of, like, setbacks, and then a lot of depression, and still getting called, fat and big. I just was, I just love going to the gym.
Dude, we're
uh,
gonna dive into that in a sec for sure. I got that written down. Let me pivot really quick to AJ. You talked about you've been shot and you've been stabbed. What went through your mind in the moments? Like, can you walk me through that?
um, I don't remember much from the shot. Like, it clipped me through the leg. Uh, I'm trying to get flexy here. Right through the leg. All I know is that I got real bad. Uh, in the moment, I don't remember much. This one, that was fun. That was the I don't know if you can see that stab to the arm, right? Wow, that scar is really not visible, right there. But that was the defensive stab. That was me getting defensive, and it was just. All I remember was with my leg. Like, I was so out of my mind that I don't remember much from the shot. Um, I ended up getting, like, really bad. I didn't go to the hospital. I don't like going to the hospital. I like to take care of things myself. Plus, I'll ask questions. But it got to a point where my legs, it's like they were rotting because I never got taken care of. So it started just spreading. Now I got these, like, scars across my legs, which are ugly, but they're part of my life now. But it kept spreading across my legs, and it was just deteriorating at my body. And I just went to the hospital finally, and they're like, "Yeah, it looks like a gunshot wound." I was like, "Oh, cool." Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
Yeah, I just remember pretty much after that, it was so much of a haze that I really can't remember too much.
Yeah, so that all, like we've talked about throughout this, it was being around the wrong people. You fell addicted to the game of making the money, being around the crowd, and that kind of validation trap. I think a lot of people have experienced in different ways. It's way more than just the drug game, right? People experience that with social media or finding it through hookups or party culture, alcohol. So I think that led you to would you say that was your breaking point? Like that was when you were like, okay, I'm gonna really like change my actions now, or did surviving that not change things? Did you go right back to the streets? What happened?
There was actually multiple times I kind of cleaned up my act. I tried to, and even to be fair, like on my own self esteem, that was kind of my choice. Uh, I got kicked out for a little bit, but like my parents still look. I'm still a kid. They're not going to boot me out completely. But
Mhm.
I was out on my own, and then definitely after I turned 18, they're like, I mean, you're an adult now. You got to handle your own. So I tried to clean up for the military. I tried to enlist. Like I said, my father served. I wanted nothing more than to make him proud and have him be the first to salute me. I wanted to go through everything. Like I mean, it's just took the ASVAB. I was like 2 days out for MEPS, and they're like, "Yeah, your background didn't clear." I was like, "Yeah, no kidding." So they tried to get me through it. You would think the military would take some felons, but now they definitely won't take me. And
Mhm.
then I just kind of I was like, "Cool. So what's the point?" So I went back off the wagon. Um, Found out that I was going to have a child, and decided to clean up from there. Um, Lost her, went way off the wagon, and then got engaged for the first time. Hey, I actually no, I went to yeah, I got engaged, and I was like, you know what, I need to do better for myself. Started going to the gym and everything. Then I decided I was going great. I had great things going. And I was working, uh, putting her through school, bought us cars. I said, look, baby, you just focus on school. I'll take care of the bills and everything. Money started drying up, and then for some stupid reason, like I said, you revert back to what you know. And so I reverted back to, well, I mean, I could sell so we can get back back where we were. Spiraled downhill from there, lost great engagement, and went to rehab finally after that. Like I said, for the first time in my life. Oh, I mean, I changed, I did exactly what they said. And actually, Dallas and I spoke that night after Tribe Thursday. He reached out to me and we spoke for like an hour on the phone.
Yeah, about an hour, almost hour and a half.
Yeah, just talking. Just he was, kind of we're kind of filling each other in our lives, and so I had everything going good, and then I lost my job. Actually, I took something I seriously. I told him, change your people, places, and things. That's what you have to do to change your life, to do right, and make things better for yourself. That's not a joke. That's exactly what you have to do. I took that seriously. I moved out of Oklahoma, moved to Destin. Had things going great there. Then I lost my job out there, and I'm back. Yeah,
Holy
like
crap! Yeah.
Sorry, that
Wait,
was
wait,
a
wait. Did
bit.
you guys wait? Did you guys just say that you hopped on a call for an hour? You two?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yep.
Dude, that is so cool, man. Like that is exactly what this community is for. Like you guys becoming friends through being a part of Team Strength
Yeah.
because your stories are so similar.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
it,
yeah.
it, and I had specifically reached out to him. It's something I left off on accident, but I had reached out to him because I have quite a few addictions, and it's not like really bad ones, but of course, addictive mind, and I got a hold of, I got a hold of Coke, and it was really bad. I got a hold of Coke when I was 17, 19, did that a few times, partying, and then drinking. I was depending on, drinking every single day. So I was like, I need someone who went through that, and we just kind of clicked. We just kind of connected.
Dude, Dallas, I want to talk a little bit about your season that you had negative thoughts about ending it, and they were very loud. What was going through your mind then, if you don't mind sharing?
It was, it was really just hard for me, like with the weight. And then I was in a really bad relationship with someone who also had mental health issues. And I just wasn't around the right people. I wasn't around the right people who cared for me. I've always been that guy of, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I bottle my emotions up. I don't let people see that side. And I just, the thoughts that were going through my mind is no one cares, no one's gonna care, and there's that stigma that us men can't tell our emotions without, you know, being said that, oh, you're weak, or you just, or like, your job is to, just be strong mentally, physically, everything like that. It and it's rough because I told my parents like months after. And this is after I got told I couldn't work. I got put on medical leave, and it was one of those things where it's just so dark. I was just fighting demons. No one knew, and like I said, just no one cares. And like maybe the world would be a better place. And it, and I feel shitty for that. If I'm gonna be honest, because I have a 2-year-old daughter. I have a daughter. She was one at the time, but I have a daughter. I have people. I have my family who cares about me. You know, it's Sorry, I get a little emotional. It's it was just very. It's just like I just didn't think much, just accept those
Yeah,
few shots.
dude, massive strength. And like you said, yeah, that's today's culture, today's society. They try to say, men, just shut up and go to work.
Yeah,
Just bottle up all your emotions. You don't have to talk about it. No one really care, or they don't care as much about how we feel because they say, oh, guys just have advantages anyways. But in reality, we're all human. We all
yeah,
have hard things that we go through, and we got to have strong men that we can talk to, right? So I'm
yeah.
very proud of you both for coming on the show. Dallas, as well, with this, like, what? So you kind of answered this for me already. I was going to ask you, like, what kept you here on the nights that you weren't sure you wanted to be? Sounds like it was thinking about, hey, listen, I have people that are counting on me, like my daughter, right? Like,
Mhm.
I got to live for them. I got to keep going because I got people counting on me. And did you feel when did you both join Strength? Do you remember that?
Oops. I don't remember if I'm gonna be honest. I've been
It's
absent
been
for
a while.
months. It's been I think
Yeah,
it's
you
been
came back.
almost yeah. It's I think it's been a year just coming up since I've been in the community. So
Yeah. AJ, what about you, bro?
Likewise, I think I've been been about a year. I
Yeah.
recall because yeah, about a year. 'Cause I remember like last
Yeah.
summer I was starting to get into it, and like I said, and then I fell off because bad decision, and plus everything else
It's all
kind
good.
of going to shit. So
Well, yeah, it's cool because this is one of those things that we don't want to go anywhere. Like we're building Strength to be 100-year brand. You can come in, come out. Dallas, you took a few months off. It's all good. We got reconnected last week. You reached out to Coach D and
yeah.
back on the calls, and then we made this happen. So props to you guys. Like, hey, there's going to be seasons where you got stuff going on. I want to talk about for AJ real quick. When did you? Okay, can you talk about life inside of a cell? And what did you learn on the inside that the outside never taught you? And when did this happen? When did you have to go to jail?
oh god. So I've been in and out since 18. Like so, well, 16 years old. Got raided 15, 16. Yeah, I got raided at my parents' place. It was the stupidest. And I was always kind of I never really took things seriously when it came to what's the word I'm looking for? God, like people who are in like higher up positions, authority.
Okay, yeah,
I was never really great with authority. So I was always kind of a smart ass, and I was also a bit of a fighter, a little violent. So coming in and out, man, honestly, I'm lucky, like flat out lucky to have not seen a day in prison. I've never hit a yard. Um, I was facing it like the in and out of jail, Oklahoma County, Cleveland County. Cleveland County, they just recently added they not recently, God, they built a new county detention center in Cleveland County, Oklahoma, Norman. And we always say that, man, if I needed to take like a weekend break just to get away from it all, I'll go get arrested because it's nice. You know, but, it's just
like a resort. Yeah.
exactly. Man, the worst was I was facing time, and when you have good money and you hire former DAs or ADAs, district attorneys and assistant district attorneys, to be your lawyer on one thing, golf with the judges on the weekend. You know, you can kind of get away with some things. I got lucky to have been faced. I got 10 years. Still got a state DOC number 790055 because I ended up pretty much with a 10-year sentence, but served on paper like it was through supervised probation through DOC. So it would still suck. I thought stay clean. Man, if I messed up once, I was going to see violent time, serving violent time. So I got lucky with that. You just got to really look at where you're going. Oklahoma County, that'll kind of either shape you into it's bad. It'll shape you into getting your shit straight, or you'll learn the culture that you're going to be headed to on the yard. I never hit. What is it? I can't remember what it's called. But transfer. Like I said, my buddy went through fed prison. That kind of sucks bad enough for him. I just seen too many people go in and out of jail and prison. I've seen too many my people die. Lost too many great friends. But then you start to realize that were they really your friends, or were they just getting high, or were they just your people buying from you? It gets lonely. You find out that you going in and out of the jail, or even in that life, it's just lonely. You don't find the friends and the camaraderie that you thought you were going to find. So.
I talked about it in the podcast that's getting posted before this, but a lot of people, they'll spend so much time trying to better relationships or on the outside, but they never get to know who they really are, right? And we're going to be the only person that you spend your whole life with. So sometimes you have to have those hard conversations and go inward and not have the mentality that that you're all alone in this and that you should just disregard others because you never know what their true intentions are. But when you have those strong relationships that you can count on, you're in alignment, that are fully detached from maybe specific, I don't know how to say it, like not ill intentions, but only in it for the benefit of themselves through you, then you have something powerful, right? That's what strength is all about, is like the people we surround ourselves with, us three, we all have a common goal, right? So I definitely see that. That's a great revelation you had. And yeah, you cleaned up your act. You're doing so much better now. And do you mind sharing, like, when was the last time you saw the inside of a jail cell? Like, how long have you been, like, really, like, on the path of alignment? Because we all make mistakes. Like, hey, I'm not saying it. I'm knocking on wood. I don't want you to go back in jail. But I'm saying, like, hey, it could happen. But
I don't intend to, man. But again, I don't like when somebody looks at me sideways. It's I'd say coming up on 12 years, 10 to 12 years.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. Last charges. But yeah,
it's like you're like, yeah. It's like you're like, oh yeah, I got out 5 days ago. I'm like, yo, dude, let's go. 5 days.
Hey, that's why I've been gone for a few months now.
Hey, it's cool because I'm not gonna speak for any names out loud, but we have people on the team that they've gotten incarcerated, and then they come back. They're like, where were you? And we're like, hey, I just went through something, and we're never gonna down talk them. We're never gonna say, hey, you messed up. What are you doing? Clean your act up. But we are going to hold them to a higher standard, and we're going to be there when they get back, right? Because it's not what happens to us that defines us, it's how we respond to it. We can always turn a positive into a negative and a scar into a strength, as long as you learn. You never lose if you learn. That's the problem. Some people, they make the same mistakes over and over, and it's like, okay, can we really help them? It's like the pig analogy. You take the pig home, and you get it cleaned off, you get the mud off of it, and then what does the pig do? It goes back in the mud because that's where it belongs. But our philosophy is we can bring anybody in, they're gonna clean up their act, and they already take accountability by coming into something like this and sharing their story. So you guys are absolutely in the right place, and really proud of you guys. So sorry, that was a long-winded answer, but Dallas, I want to switch gears a little bit about your epilepsy awareness. If you don't mind talking about that, like what's the biggest thing that people get wrong about it?
People get wrong about the causes, I think, honestly, of it. And now, I think it's just I haven't read too much up on it because, of course, I'm still new to all of this. Especially with getting diagnosed just recently this year. Like I said, the causes and how people can recover from it. And just different things. Like I said, I haven't read much up on it like I should have for, especially preparing for this. But um, there's a lot of causes for it. Like
Mhm.
I was really stressed those two times that I've had it, and the first one on April 9th that I had, I drank the night before. Like I was drinking heavily the night before. But also that same day, I was really, really stressed. And then the second one on the 26th, I was also stressed really badly. And I was hungover for that day before that night happened. And I mean, yeah, there's a few. It could be drinking. I just feel like most people just put it on just drinking. I have a really bad addiction with drinking, if I'm going to be honest. But um, it's just it's honestly sometimes for someone who's kind of new to it, especially getting diagnosed, because I've never had to deal with this in my life. Like this is a completely new, different ball game. My parents could even tell you as well. Like this is completely new, especially with me. You know, with the lifestyle that I'm doing now, especially with going to the gym, getting healthy. It's just I want people to know that if you feel something coming on, you just go get checked out. Like you're not a hypochondriac. You just go get checked out because that's what I should have done.
Mhm.
Because I'm gonna be honest, I felt something weird that day. Even not drinking. Even if it was the day before, like it was like just go get checked. Make that a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't sit there and let it get bad because that's what happened to me. And then
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, and now that unfortunately you have to deal with that right now, but you're like you said, you're taking control of the situation. Try to
Mhm.
be proactive about it. And now that we're talking about this, someone that's listening that might feel symptoms and or might want to learn more about it, you never know. You could save somebody from an episode just by us
Yes,
having this conversation. So very
yeah,
proud of you for speaking on this, man. And yes, you're not letting it define you. So
yeah,
really
and
good, really good.
yeah, and I did when I got told I couldn't, go back to work, because I was a delivery driver for FedEx. I was, and then like getting like my thing is for anyone listening or just gonna be watching this, like if you have like just look it up on I forgot the website, but it's an epilepsy website. If you got a metallic taste or you feel like an aura of like something's gonna happen or like you feel like it's like really just bad feelings. Just look it up, and if you're really sure about it, please go get checked out because it is pretty serious. It's honestly it changed my life a little bit, not detrimental, but it changed to where I can't provide like I want to.
I want to ask you one more question, Dallas. What did your daughter change about the way you saw your own life? How's it changed since becoming a father?
I stopped the party mindset. Um, I was a really big smoker of marijuana, like really, really bad. And like I was basically depending on it in the mornings, on break when I would go home, during work, and drinking as well at night, depending on, on my break or at night. And I got rid of that party mindset. I got rid of that. Oh, I'm a bad, shitty person, like it made me better, made me more motivational. It gave me that I need to stop really caring what people think. I need to really stop, hanging out with wrong people because I've now got a little life that I have to take care of, and it just was like it was like I said, it was a really big motivational, it was really big motive. motivation side, and then really big positivity changed my mindset as well. But also, like I'm now a protector, so like
Mm,
she's my why, and
yeah.
it's just one of those things where, like, some people may not understand, of like what it's like being a
Mm.
parent, especially when you're in a place where you can't, have where you shouldn't, have a kid or even be trying. My mindset was, 9 months is it's gonna fly by. I think, especially if you're in that situation of you're either your girlfriend or a friend that you got pregnant or whatever it may be. You're an expecting parent. Like it really does change when that baby does come out in the world. Like it's a huge switch. And like I said, it made me a better person. It made me a better son, made me a better employee. It made me a better friend, better brother. Just all around, just a better person at that time.
Oh, dude, you guys motivate the heck out of me. I gotta pop his baby out. No, just kidding. Too much time. But you both are fathers, and it's very motivating. Hey, AJ, in a similar way, you found someone that genuinely loves you as well. Can you talk about that and like what did it feel like to be loved when you weren't used to it?
That one is a like I called out when we were talking. I was like, man, you got to find your why, and it's like they tell you you've got to do better for yourself. You have to always want to do better for yourself. You want to put yourself first. I get that, but I don't think it's spoken about enough that there's a lot of people out there, myself included, when you don't have enough sense or care for yourself than it would for somebody else. Like, you're supposed to put yourself first, and you're supposed to be most important. I get that. I understand that concept. I understand the whole meaning behind it. I understand that it's the right way to do things. And I've had to learn to adapt to that. But I've gotten to a point, like growing up, it was like I couldn't ever do better for me, but I could do better for somebody else that I can, that did something for me. And man,
Mm.
I thought I found somebody who loved, of course, we all go through love like that. And I never really loved myself. It's, I was letting myself down because I didn't have any compassion for myself, no patience, no respect, nothing. Like I said, I didn't expect to make it to the end of each day or what have you. I really didn't care what would happen to me. So I guess how could somebody, even when I got clean and sober those times, like it's just, I never changed that mindset, you know? But even though my family was always there, like my mom, my dad, they were there, still there. Uh, I found someone now. We're still currently not together, but we are taking the day by day kind of working through things. I've never had anybody outside of my family, but even my family had to do that house love shit. But I've never had anybody, even after everything. Because recently I was laid off from my job. Uh, I fell back into addiction, lost my place, lost my family, lost all kinds of things. I lost everything again. This was just a couple months ago. You know, it was always, hey, Cody, hey, it was, I don't know if you see him. This guy and myself, it's always just been me and my boy, for
Yeah.
God, 8, 9 years. My ride or die. So that was my own connection, really, and that's another big one. Like mental health is a great topic to talk about. Let's bring that awareness, but it's also animals, that connection they can bring. But yeah, that's the only kind of talk to my parents was that. What's that word? It's that kind of love. What can I think? Um,
No, you're all good, bro. Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting
yeah,
down.
yeah. So she's she was still there for me. She still cared, even though we hurt each other, even though I had messed up so bad, even though I was losing everything, and I just made the stupid decisions. She still genuinely wanted to offer her help, even though we weren't together. She was still supportive, loving, caring. She knew the man that I am, the man that I could be. So it was a mix of that and me getting to a point where I was like, what has numbing myself with drugs done anything good for me. I've lost everything, literally all material, all connection, emotional, everything. I've lost everything so many times in my life, and I was losing this time, and I was like, I can't keep doing this. I've got more time behind me with my family than I've got in front of me with my parents. I've got more time probably behind me than I've got myself in front of me. I can't keep doing this shit. I've got to want and do better for myself, not just for a possible future that I could have with her and for a possible family that I want to provide, I want to do better for. But I have to want that. I finally realized what that feeling was like, to want to do better for oneself and want to aim higher and just keep pushing. I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of losing.
Dude, okay, so have you guys seen the new movie, The Odyssey, yet?
No.
I want to.
See the
Okay,
original.
I'm not gonna. Okay, well, you know the original. Yeah, like from 3,000 years ago. But dude, so in a similar note, I think this resonates well with you guys and hopefully the viewer. I'm not going to spoil the movie, don't worry, but there is a part of it where Odysseus, he's going past these sirens, and the sirens are singing a song that everybody that goes through the ravine, the area, they die when they listen to it because they, I'm going to tell you in a sec, but what he does is he gets them to tie him up, and he's crying and it's terrible. And then they ask him, like, hey, like, you survived. He's the first human to ever survive through these sirens. What did you hear? And they tell you what you want most is what you used to have and you can't get it back. So basically, in that regard, I think all three of us are at a point where we've probably all had crappy moments before, right? And we kind of wish sometimes we could go back when things were so great. But at the same time, we haven't fully lost everything. Like, Dallas, you're still involved with your daughter's life. Like, you're married now, right? And
No.
same for AJ. You can still get this girl back. It's not like she's gone. And I think about, okay, like in my regard, my moments was definitely I had a relationship that was going great and I just took it and ruined it by one decision to end it just randomly on a whim. I talk about it in the book, Law Number 13. But yeah, it's like what we want most. Sometimes it's what we can't get back. But at the same time, we all have the control, and a lot of the people watching this, you can actually still get what you want, but it takes knowing what you want and then fighting for it, right? We can all do that. We're all in a situation right now where we don't have to wonder what if. We got to ask why not us. So to summarize this, I want you both to have an opportunity. What do you recognize in each other that most people would miss? And what do you want the person listening to this to hear?
I'll let him go first. I got to think about that question a little bit.
Beauty for age,
Sorry, I'm
man. You
putting
got
this
this.
So, what I recognize in Adam, I recognize that he's pushing. He's pushing through all these, downhill moments. He's still going. He's got his best friend. A dog is a man's best friend. He's got someone with him. He's still trying to work out on some things with this woman. And he just doesn't. He's just not stopping. And he's overcoming a lot of things. And it's very admirable. If I'm going to be very very honest about it. Um, Yeah, and this is very, very genuine as well. I have not been to wherever you've been, but what was that second part of the question?
Yeah, just kind of like, what do you want the viewer to hear from based on your guys' stories? Like, what do you want to leave them with as a message from yourself?
I want everyone to leave with, no matter what you're going through or what you have went through, there's always the light at the end of the tunnel, and that is a very, very, very true statement. It is. People think it's cheesy, corny. It's not, and it's really true. I like for myself. I'm now I have interviews set up for jobs. I'm not letting this epilepsy, I'm not letting all these mental issues get in the way of either me being a dad, getting, a new job. I'm also, just keep on pushing. There's a why. And like you said, Shane, it's that thing of, you know, keep, I forgot what you said, but I'm not gonna lie, but like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
goodness,
Keep
my
going, dude.
goodness.
Yeah,
Sorry,
dude.
but
You
like,
don't
it's
have
just,
we don't have to be a victim to
yeah,
our
yeah,
circumstances.
yeah. Just find yourself, find yourself,
Yeah.
and find your why, because like I said, my daughter is my why. I know most people probably don't have that, I wouldn't really say luxury, but most people don't have that chance to become, either a full-time dad or a full-time mom, because putting out there, I'm not like, throwing shade on her or anything. Of course, I'm not that type of person, but you know, I got the chance to have full custody of her, and that's what's pushing me to keep going. And she's my why, and she's my motivation to get to the gym or go running or go do something, because I want to go see her graduate. I want to see her grow old. I want her to see me, get married. I want her to be a part of the wedding. I want her to be, I want her to experience a good life.
Yes. Beautiful, bro. You couldn't have wrapped it up any better. Yes. AJ, how about you, man?
Before that, make sure you remember, Dallas, that you are also your why.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you've got to be there for her. You want to see those experiences. Make sure that you do better for you, so you can do better for her. You know what I mean? Um, where do I find those connections with Dallas and even family? Shane, it's bro. First off, I see the struggle. Struggling is something I connected with, and it's the being lost and not knowing what to do, but you are at the end of your rope, man, and you're legitimately looking for help. You don't want this anymore. You want the change.
Yeah.
I feel that connection with you. I feel the man. I was a big boy too. Send over those pictures, man. I used to weigh over
Yeah.
260. I was 268, lowest point of my life. Dropped over 110 pounds in less than 10 months. Man, I got tired of losing, so I made some changes. But I see that it's the mental health, man. I'm medicated, but I have not been on my meds for long. I've taken them. I'm trying to control my own medic. Yeah, but yeah, sometimes you do got to get the help, But I understand the mental health. That's a big one. We all do. It's tough. Um, what I want people to take out of my experiences in life, we all go through some shit, and we all experience it differently, you know. But to say, yeah, I guess you can still compare. Some things are worse, not objectively, But at the same time, what I want people to get out of my story is we really do have control of ourselves and our future and our past. The fact is, it's corny as hell to say it as well, but the decisions that you make honestly will affect what your life is like coming up. You can choose to continue to allow yourself to go through shit. You can choose to make those bad decisions. There's always a choice. Always a fucking choice. You know? Even when I said I got no other choice but to do this. No. The other choice just seemed more difficult, more of a struggle. It seemed like it was something I was unfamiliar with. No, to hell with that. There's always a choice. And whatever choice you make will impact you and those around you. So at the end of the day, you
Yes.
can choose to continue to fight, or you can choose to take the easy way out. Mental health is a struggle too, but man, I'm not just talking about like that easy way out, but I'm talking about like you can choose to sling drugs, or you can choose to fight down, deal with the shit that you made. I'm having to deal with mistakes that I made and decisions I made that affected my relationship, my life, and everything. Anything that comes my way right now is a direct result of my choices. I have to take those. I have to take those consequences, and I can't be pissed off about it. I could be pissed off at myself, but I can't sit here and complain or blame anybody else but myself. I did that. I got to take those consequences. I got to learn from my mistakes, and I can choose to do better.
Yes.
Mhm.
Usually, yeah, you got it, Dallas.
I was just agreeing with what he said. It's just, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's it's one of those things of like I want kind of want to add on like you make your bed, you lie in it type things, and like you know, and adding on to what I was saying, like I was 320 back in October. That's when I sent you guys that picture. Like I said, my lowest was 266 back in May. This is also still when I was fighting a lot of mental demons, and it was bad. I will say I'm my family was religious, and we've been religious, and I've felt off a lot, especially with hanging around the wrong people, and Adam's very right, when he told me the other night, and change your change your places, change your people, because it made a really big impact. I'm 8 days sober from drinking, smoking marijuana, from doing coke, and also no vaping. I mean, I got to get out of cigarettes. So to be fair, I smoke a cigarette every now and then, but it's bad. But it's like he's very right, and anyone that's anybody if you're in a bad place, change your people, change your places. Fine, find out what the problem is, because it's going to lead you bad. And I feel like a really shitty father, because I got hold of something that is very looked down at in my house. Just drugs, regardless. Even just smoking marijuana. My dad's. I hope I can say this, but my dad just hit 2 years sober from drinking. So
Let's
it's
go.
it's telling Adam, when we hopped on the call, like when I was drinking, I sneak, drinks when I was sneaking drinks in the house, like what am I doing? Or like I'm a shitty person, for trying to sneak drinks in the house, or I'm a shitty person for thinking when we go out of like I want a beer, or I want to go to the bathroom and go sit at the bar, especially when I had my own money. And felt like a shitty father for that too, because I was like, my daughter would be out with us too. But like I told Adam as well, like we avoid those places that promote, like a big drink. Here's like Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know if you ever heard of that. Places like that. It's just like I said, it's just I was like, I need to make a change.
Yes. Yes,
Like I
that's
said,
so good, bro.
I have a very addictive personality, and that's what I told Adam. I see something, I pick it up, I'm gonna do it. Like I told him, I was fiending to do more, of last week, and like I said, having those itches and cravings, I haven't had an itch or craving in the last, 2 days, in the last day and a half, and I'm like, and you're saying that I haven't drank in 8 days, or actually 9 days. I think yeah, 9 days. It's really good. I feel myself a little bit healthier. I feel myself, a little bit more productive, even if I don't get much sleep. And addiction is real. Addiction is a disease. Addiction is an illness. I really think, and yeah, it's pretty bad. You know, um,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I know Adam's been going through it a lot longer than I have. I know I'm still young, but I my thing is I'm tough on my daughter. I don't want her making decisions that I have, especially hanging out with the friends type of friends I was hanging out with. It's really bad. And I'm lucky that I changed the friends I was hanging out with when I was 19, because I'm pretty sure I would have been in and out of jail, because I got into some really bad stuff. That's pretty bad.
Oh, it's so to summarize all of this, it's all about you're a product of your environment, right? I think both of your guys' stories is a true testament of that. And I've listened to a sermon recently that talked about your private life. If you can strive to make that even more positive actions than what people see publicly, then you're going to live in full alignment because your left hand should know what your right hand's doing. That's in form of giving as well. But in the terms of this, just making sure that you're acting in full alignment. You understand that you're going to make mistakes, right? We're all
Yeah.
going to slip up. We're not going to be, I mean, if we go the rest of our lives clean as a clean place, I don't know what the analogy would be there,
Plain as a
but
whistle.
clean as a whistle. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if that's in the cards. It's we can definitely slip up, and I'm not saying that to give ourselves an excuse, but I'm saying it's because we're human, right? So
Yeah.
let's keep doing what we're doing. Come into these meetings, keep showing up, sharing your story like this. People need to hear this stuff, guys. Like I'm really proud of you all for you both for coming on, and I think this is probably one of the coolest episodes you've done. So let's go, dude. Hey, where can they find you guys on socials?
Okay, so anybody who wants to, I do have. It's kind of embarrassing. I have a couple of dancing TikToks. It's at Dallas Luna 72, all lowercase, no space, and then Instagram is the same exact thing. Now Facebook, just search up Dallas Luna. It's a picture of me and my daughter. Or it's just a picture of me posing in the gym bathroom. And then Snapchat as well if you want. I post a lot, but it's a Dallas Lunar 70, all lowercase, no spaces. But I'm trying to post more about like, especially with the brand. Like I'm probably gonna read the book over and probably go over the book as well. I've been thinking about doing that for a while. I've been thinking about trying to put the brand more back out there because that's what I used to do. Always, and especially if anyone or y'all even go look, anybody, y'all are gonna see. I posted in there. I hashtag strength. Ran from within. I post just the whole brand. Like use this. I even have it in my Facebook. Um, you know, powered by strength. And that's my thing. So
Heck yeah.
Much love, bro.
God, same. TikTok, Snapchat. It's going to be AJ underscore digital underscore yokai. YOKAI. It's Japanese. This demon. Digital demon. Yeah, I've been got on my TikTok. Strength athlete. It's just trying to get more with that brand. But yeah, using Facebook. I'm trying to build up that following so I can trying to hit that 1,500 so I can get the TikTok shop available so I can start
yes,
slinging out some of the product. So, but yeah, find me there. I'm open to collabs, open to even just live streaming at the gym together. It's whatever. I'm just here to help spread that awareness and spread the kind of community that we got here.
oh yeah, it
Yes.
is.
Good.
Sorry.
Go.
For anybody who doesn't, and I know I'm gonna be sharing this out to all everywhere. You know, if y'all find yourselves struggling, rather it's mentally, your I think physicality, I guess you can put it. um this is a whole fitness brand, right? So, and but not only that, there's really good people inside. Shane, the founder, you and Diego and Bryce, the whole leaders. It's This is a very safe space community, and I found myself being better. I found myself having more control over my life than what I used to before I joined this. you know and people ask, why do you spell it that way? Do they not know how to spell? Or why is it this? And I'm like, I know,
Idiots.
I'm like, oh my goodness. So I have to sit there for five straight. Actually, I had to explain it to one of my buddies that I actually met, shortly after, when I first got into the gym. I was asking him to spot me, and because I was really angry at the time, I was just like, I needed, finding just maxing out, finding my PRs. But, I told him, and other people, I'm like, they spell it this way because it's right from within, like you like take control of your life, your control, you have control over your life. It's like Smokey the Bear, only you can prevent wildfires and only you can prevent yourself from, you know, getting out of control, like again, you make your bed, you lie type thing. But like I said, it's a great brand, great community, and great products. It's just something that I feel like anyone should get into. They really should, and especially talking with you, Shane, the very first person of this brand. I was like, I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna see what I can do. Especially getting in the fitness life. I was like talking with you after we got off the call. I was like, I think it just found my new. I think I found a new motivation. Keep going.
Dude, thank you so much for the kind words, both of you guys, so much. Let's go, dude. Yeah, guys, make sure the people that are watching, make sure you guys follow these guys on socials, like and
Please.
subscribe, comment your biggest takeaway, check out the book Dallas has. Let's go, and yeah, let's keep doing big things.